So students, in this lecture, we'll continue with unit step response of a first order system. So yesterday we have seen the diagram which has been shown here, the unit step response of a first order system. When we see the output C of t, which is 1 minus e raised to minus t by t, the output rises exponentially from 0 value to final value of unit t. So we'll find the initial slope of curve at t is equal to 0, which is given by dc by dt at t is equal to 0 is 1 by t e raised to minus t by t at t is equal to 0, which will come to be 1 by t. Then this t is known as the time constant of the system. Then what is this t going to tell us? The time constant t is indicative of how fast the system tends to reach the final value. How fast the system tends to reach the final value is given by t indication. Then whatever is the speed of response, it can be quantitatively defined as a time for the output to become a particular percentage of its final value. So speed of response can be quantitatively defined as a time for the output to become a particular percentage of its final value. A large time constant corresponds to a sluggish system and a small time constant corresponds to a fast response, which has been shown here. So depends whether it is the time constant is large or small. If it is large, it corresponds to a sluggish system. If time constant is small, it corresponds to a fast response, which has been shown here. So you can see in this figure for different time constants. T is equal to T1, T is equal to T2, T2 is less than T1. Then effect of time constant on system response. Then the final value is 1. So this diagram is going to show that if time constant is small, then there is a fast response. Okay, this is a fast response. So you can see from the diagram for two different values ts2 ts1, they have found out how much is c of t for t2 and t1, two different values. Okay, next we'll consider the error response of the system, which is given by, we know what is the error, which is r of t minus c of t is e of t, which is equal to e raised to minus t by t. So and this has already been plotted here as shown. This e raised to minus t by t has already been plotted here, which has been shown. Then the steady state error is given by ESS is equal to limit t tends to infinity e of t, which comes to be 0. So we can say that this system tracks the unit step input with 0 steady state error. So the system tracks the unit step input with 0 steady state error. That has been shown here. Now we'll see the response to second order system. So we'll take a particular system. The system is servo mechanism. Then what is this servo mechanism? It has been shown in this diagram. You can see this is a servo mechanism. What is this servo mechanism? You can see this is a schematic diagram of position servo mechanism. There are two potentiometers. There is one amplifier. There is a mechanical load. There is a reference shaft. Then we'll see what is this servo mechanism system. Then this servo mechanism controls the position of a mechanical load in accordance with the position of reference shaft. So there are two potentiometers. They will convert the input and output positions into proportional electrical signals, then which in turn are compared, and an error signal equal to the difference of the two appears at the leads of the coming from potentiometer wiper. So you can see there are two inputs coming to amplifier from two potentiometer, one due to this potentiometer, one due to this potentiometer. Then the difference is compared and a error signal is determined. So the error signal voltage form is VE is equal to K of P R minus C, where R is reference shaft position in radians, C is R is reference shaft position in radians, C is also reference shaft position in radians due to both the potentiometers. So you can see that. Then Kp is potentiometer sensitivity in volts per radian. Then this error signal you can see in this diagram. This error signal is applied as input to amplifier. So the error signal is amplified by factor Ka. So it gets amplified by factor Ka, which that Ka has been shown in the block of amplifier inside, and then it is applied to the armature circuit of DC motor whose field winding is excited, with a constant voltage, or it also could be a PMDC motor. If any error exists, then if there is a error, then the motor develops a torque which is transmitted to the output shaft through a gear train of ratio n. So when a error takes place or exists, the motor will develops a torque which is transmitted to the output shaft through a gear train. You can see a gear train of ratio n, where n is load shaft speed by motor shaft speed. Then what happens? Whatever is the transmitted torque, it rotates the output shaft in such a direction so as to reduce the error to 0. In order to make the error 0, then the transmitted torque will rotate the output shaft in such a direction so that the error will become 0. Next, this diagram represents the block diagram of the system of servo mechanism. Okay. Mechanism. Then you can see here there are two terminologies used, J and F naught. So this J and F naught are equivalent inertia and friction at the motor shaft. So you can see R of S, Kp, Ka, Va of S, V naught of S, Va of S, Ia of S, Tm of S, theta of S, C of S, Kb. Then J has been shown here and F naught are equivalent inertia and friction at the motor shaft. Okay, this is the reduced block diagram which comes to the final of this form. Then whatever is the analysis, when we go further onwards, it is not restricted to the particular system as used in a example. It can be applied to any general second order type 1 system. Not only particular this system is the example, it can be applied or it will be valid for a general second order type 1 system. Then the overall transfer function of the system is given by this figure B. You can find out the overall transfer function from this figure B, which you can see, refer this figure, find from this figure B the overall transfer function, which comes to be C of S by R of S is equal to Kv divided by tau S square plus S plus Kv, which is equal to Kv by tau by S square plus 1 by tau S plus Kv by tau. So it can also be written in standard form. So when in standard form, C of S by R of S is equal to omega n square by S square plus 2 damping factor omega n S plus omega n square, which is P by S. Then where that symbol which has been shown here, this is damping factor, or it can be a damping ratio, and that is equal to 1 divided by 2 root of kV tau, which is equal to F divided by 2 root kj. Then where this omega n is undamped natural frequency, which is given by root of kV by tau, which is equal to root of k by tau. Then the time response of any system is characterized. If you want to find out the time response of any system, then it is characterized by the roots of the denominator polynomial, which has been denoted by Q of S. And what are these Q of S is? They are the poles of the transfer function. The denominator polynomial Q of S is therefore called the characteristic polynomial. So Q of S is equal to 0. The denominator polynomial, the characteristic polynomial Q of S is equal to 0. Then whatever is this inner lobe, it can be further reduced to give the motor transfer function as shown. So the inner loop can be further reduced to give the motor transfer theta of S by V of S is equal to KT by RA by S divided by Sj plus F. This will give the motor transfer function, which can be obtained when inner loop has been reduced. Then this F is equal to F naught. Here we have F. What is this F? F is equal to F naught plus KT KB by RA. Then that block diagram can be simplified as shown in this figure B. We can simplify the block diagram as shown in this figure B. Then where K will be equal to KP, KA, KT into N by RA. Then the forward transfer function can be written in time constant form. So the forward transfer function can be written in time constant form as G of S is equal to KV divided by S into bracket tau S plus 1, where KV is equal to K by F and tau is J by F. Then whatever is this figure B, you can see, which has been simplified. The figure B, in fact, it is a second order system involving one forward path integration. So it is, we have considered a second order system only, which is involving one forward path integration. Then the configuration belongs to a general class of systems called type 1. Type 1. Then whatever we have seen, Q of S is equal to 0, then that Q of S equal to 0 is called the characteristic equation. The characteristic equation of the system under consideration is S square plus 2 damping factor omega ns plus omega n square is equal to rho. The roots of this characteristic equation are given by S square plus 2 damping factor omega ns plus omega n square will be equal to S minus S1 into S minus S2. If damping factor is less than 1, then S1, S2 will be minus damping factor omega n plus or minus j omega n into root of 1 minus damping factor square, which is equal to minus damping factor omega n plus or minus j omega d. J omega d, where omega d is equal to omega n into root of 1 minus damping factor squared is called damped natural frequency. Most control systems, with the exception, except robotic control system, most of the control system except robotic control system are designed for damping factor less than 1. Why? Because to achieve high response speed consistent with other performance measures. Then for unit step input, the output response is given by C of S is equal to omega n square by S into bracket S plus damping factor omega n minus j omega n into root of 1 minus damping factor square close bracket into s plus damping factor omega n plus j omega n into root of 1 minus damping factor square. Then the Laplace inverse of above equation is obtained by the method of residues. So you can refer the appendix 1 from the book, which comes to be C of t is equal to omega n square by s square plus 2 damping factor omega n s plus omega n square at s is equal to 0 plus 2 Re into omega n square by s into bracket s plus damping factor omega n minus j omega n into root of 1 minus damping factor square, where s is equal to damping factor omega n minus j omega n into root of 1 minus damping factor square into e raised to minus damping factor omega n t into e raised to minus j omega n root of 1 minus damping factor square. Then which will come equal to 1 minus e raised to minus damping factor omega n t by root of 1 minus damping factor square sine into bracket omega n into root of 1 minus damping factor square into t plus tan inverse root of 1 minus damping factor square by damping factor t greater than 0. The steady state value of C of t is given as SS is equal to limit t tends to infinity, C of t is equal to 1. Then whatever is the time response, if damping factor is less than 1, it is called underdamped. If damping factor is 1, it is critically damped. If damping factor is greater than 1, then it is overdamped. So for an underdamped second order system, the time response has been plotted here, shown. It is damped sinusoidal. Then whatever is the response, it reaches a steady state value of CSS is equal to 1. At that time, the steady state error of the system approaches 0. So the time response for various this figure will give the response reaches a steady state value of S is equal to 1. At that time, the steady state error of this system approaches 0. So we'll stop here.